Welcome to Comics League Dark. I'm Jared, and today we are going to do a simple Q&A. I know I wanted to do the Rebel Moon watch party. It's just I had a bunch of shows today, and it ended up where it would be like really long because the movie's like two and a half to like 3 hours. So I'm like, nah, I'm not going to do it today. So we're going to do it tomorrow as a live like movie night thing. But in the meantime, let me enter or like allow entry to the panel today. So let's start with this old man. Actually, wait, I got a better one.
Oh my god. This thing is so old.
You mother ducker.
I wanted to change it. I wanted to change it.
Son of a biscuit.
I wanted to change it up. But
sorry I was late. I was making dinner.
Of course. So today we are just going to do a standard question and answer session where we answer all your burning questions about Marvel, DC, anything in between, why Bruce Timm should never be allowed unfiltered like control of anything DC. Any question you guys would like to ask us, like why is Nick so old? Why is Jared so awesome? Go ahead and ask.
Well, as far as the latter, it's just the law of the universe.
Yeah, you don't. Hey, look, it's Nick, the author of the Iron Age, a respected old man.
Well,
yes,
to be fair, I'm an author of the Iron Age. There's so many other great authors, and I just happen to be one of them. I'm sorry, I can't take sole credit.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm trying to be humble.
You're trying to be humble, but so first off, Nick, how are you?
Good, and oh god, sorry, I just checked and we hit another milestone.
Hey, that's great. Hey, you know what? Go ahead. So Nick launched a book today.
All right, you want to should we share it?
Yeah, go ahead. Drop the link in the private chat.
Oh, I was going to present if that's okay.
Oh yeah, sure.
All right. So this is my novel Lost Kingdom, which is currently on Kickstarter. We hit 400. Holy crap.
Nice job, dude.
Nice
One
job,
of those is me.
Yes, Jared is partially responsible for this. How dare you?
Originally, see, my plan was I was going to back it later, but I figured, you know what, it's important. And from what I read of the preview, I very much enjoyed it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So, yep, you can, let me just get you this link real quick so you can post it. I'll put it in the private chat.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'm just kind of glazing through things, showing you what it is. You can read all this for yourself. But,
why don't you tell us a little bit about the book, if you will?
So it's a sci-fi fantasy novel set in our solar system about the 4000s, and it's a story of an old man.
Oh, so it's an autobiographical.
That's what I have to deal with, everybody. Who was a former captain general of the King's Guard, and the night the capital fell, he made a choice. He chose unwisely, and 15 years on, he's regretting it ever since. And it's a story of one man who makes a choice, a bad choice, and the question is whether or not he's worthy of redemption.
Well, the bad choice was supporting Wonderbat. That led to that leads to falls of empires. Everyone knows that.
I'm debating whether or not I should do a lore drop.
You know what?
Actually, funny you should say that, sir. So in this universe, there is a religion called Religion of the Pantheon, which is
okay.
Which is it's basically you worship all the deities, you know, like the Greek gods, the Norse gods.
Even though a lot of the Greek and like Roman gods are the exact same freaking people.
Yes, but also some of the more modern gods. Like, for example, Batman is a god in the Religion of the Pantheon.
Yeah, exactly. And by the way, Dave asks, have you guys watched Cape Crusader yet? I haven't. So what Talati and I are going to do is every week on his channel, we're going to cover each episode. So I'm not binging it. We're going to do it once a week for content.
Do it
I think that'd be
live.
the best way to do it.
I mean, if you had to suffer, at least get paid for it.
Yeah, according to Dave, it's a good show. So I don't know. We'll see. Is it wrong for me to be skeptical about RGJ as Doom? You're just like Nick here. My friends say I'm judging too quickly, and that I should wait until the trailer comes out. Now, Cameron, and I talked to Nick on his show about this. Here is the thing: at the very least, wait till the trailer comes out, and remember, it's the Russo brothers.
I get that, but to me, this just reeks of desperation.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, Robert Downey Jr. is a great actor.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think he's the kind of actor that can do Doom.
Okay.
But if anyone can surprise me, it's Robert Downey Jr. when teaming up with the Russo brothers.
Yeah, exactly. Tevia, we're doing a general question and answer session, so that's what we're doing right now. Christopher Waltz for Doom. Yes!
Yeah.
Yes!
The biggest tragedy is Mads Mikkelsen would have been perfect, but they already cast him in Strange.
And I could see Mads playing Ra's al Ghul in a Batman universe.
Perfect casting, brother. Perfect.
Yeah, because the thing about Ra's is you have to have that like conniving, like sort of like I'm plotting in front of you but behind your back, and it's like if you watch like let's say Casino Royale, he was all that.
Plus, Mads has kind of a certain exotic look to him.
Mm-hmm.
Because with Ra's is not a Westerner. He's kind of like a nationally ambiguous person, but he's not white.
Yeah, exactly. Because and that's a problem when it comes to like a lot of DC depictions is that they put him as a straight up white guy. Cameron says, I'm with Nick. I just can't see RDJ as Doom unless they're doing the body switch thing. Again, wait until the trailer comes out. Tevia asks, do you think Secret Wars 2026 and Doomsday are going to be amazing? Because potentially for me, I'm actually excited. Let me put it this way.
Supposedly, Toby and Garfield are coming back. So that alone would be... And Hugh. Supposedly we'll see more people come back. So yeah, and plus
I will say again, the last
Deadpool and Wolverine is not the last time we'll see Deadpool.
Yeah, and I will say, the last time the Russo brothers did 2 Avengers movies, we got literally the best Avengers movies. So I'm like, that alone should go. I think I trust the Russo brothers. And like Netflix on his show, the Russo brothers have enough clout to push back against like Disney BS. So
I still think it's desperation, but I will admit, if anyone can dig us out of the crap hole, it's the Russos.
Yeah, exactly. Jared, I'll say the first episode is definitely the weakest, but it gets better afterwards. Episode 5 with Harley Quinn is the second weakest. The rest are really solid or great. It's not woke either. Debatable, but we'll see. But I'll do again. Talaya and I will do a weekly review. So, what other questions do you guys have for us? Or Nick, what questions do you have for me?
I have so many questions for you.
So little time.
All right, here's one for you. What is your preferred Harley ship?
Harley ship? That's a good question. No one. I don't think she needs a relationship, honestly. I think she's better as an independent character. Because hell no do I want her with the Joker. And with Ivy, I could see it, but again, the thing is, I don't think she needs another person. Because Harley, when executed properly, is a really cool character on her own as well. What about you, Nick?
Yeah, there are surprisingly very few Harley like ships. I don't know, like her and Poison Ivy.
Well, and Bruce Timm would like her with Nightwing.
No.
I had to. But
I'm sorry,
but
I'm still salty about like the Harley Quinn thing they did, where it was basically SA.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's I say that as a joke, but yeah, that was stupid. Question: Would Deadpool will be wait make a billion? Because for me, this is will it make a billion? It looks like it is because so far it's got like the biggest one of the biggest openings, and from all trends, assuming it doesn't tank anytime soon, it's going to reach a billion. Like
I mean, what is it,
500
in week
million
2?
this soon.
I mean, this is only the second weekend. You got to realize that. Like, it's
Mhm.
going to shoot up this weekend. It's Friday. This is the second weekend. So, if it doesn't hit a billion this week, it's going to hit it in the third week. That's
Yeah, because the minute it reaches I think it reached like 500 million the first weekend. That was like, whoa. And I'm like, that's yeah.
something superhero fatigue.
Oh yeah, superhero fatigue is very real now. But will Deadpool and Wolverine affect the much delayed Blade movie? Probably.
I mean, didn't you know there's only one Blade and there only ever will be one Blade?
I know that was Ryan Reynolds saying, yeah, that's also true today. I just freaking love that line in there, as well as Cavalry.
I'm sorry, the thing that killed me was right after Blade said that line, they had a shot of Deadpool basically smiling to the camera.
Just looking at the camera, he's like, yeah, I love that. Do you think this will have Marvel abandon the Blade movie and have an I'd imagine any minute now they're gonna abandon Blade. Any minute. There's way too much stuff going on.
I don't know. They kind of doubled down on it by announcing a release date for the movie when they haven't even started shooting.
Hollywood has done that before. The only things that could be construed as woke in Cape Crusader is one gender swap and a few race swaps. If this is woke, then Batman and Lego. Okay, true to a degree.
Fair enough.
There's some other stuff, but so what other questions do y'all have for us? We are here to answer any questions that you guys have, non-political. They even have a script for Blade. Yes, David.
I have a question for you. I have a question for you, sir.
Yeah, what's up?
All right. So, as the creator of Athena, I would say you have a really good handle on her character and how she would react.
Yeah.
How do you think a team up between her and Witchblade would go?
Oh, good lord.
Do you think she could handle the Witchblade?
That's a good question. You know, I never thought of that. That's a good question. Let me think. So I have a general idea of her character and her power set. I would probably say I think that it would be a fight. In other words, she would try and hold back a few times, but the Witchblade would sometimes take over in like very stressful situations. But overall, I think she would have a pretty good handle on it.
Interesting.
How about Screecher and the Witchblade?
She's pretty strong-willed. I think she could handle the Witchblade.
Yeah. Question. Speaking of multiverse stuff, with Deadpool and Wolverine being the best multiverse story, do you believe this movie destroyed... Well, yeah. Yeah, it destroys the Flash. It's way better than the Flash. The CGI actually looks good. Short of, pun intended, short of the short Logan.
Oh God, that's not even a fair comparison because it's just like.
Yeah, and I'm like, and the guys behind the Flash are doing Batman again. At least Batman is not necessarily CGI heavy, like really CGI heavy. So maybe that's
what's your current opinion on the Fantastic Four movie?
I think okay, I'm gonna give the with a lot of my movie opinions, it's gonna be general. Like, I'm gonna give the trailer and movie a chance to like wow me. So far, I don't really like the castings except for Sue Storm and maybe Ben Grimm. Those only two where I'm like, yeah, I could see that. I can't see Mando as Reed. I just
like Pedro
can't.
Pascal is not a bad actor, and I could see him being. It should have been John Krasinski first and foremost.
Actually, you know what's kind of funny? I could kind of see him playing Doom.
No.
You ruin all the fun.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Pedro is a piss poor villain. I mean, did anyone see Kingsman? He was literally the worst part about the Golden Circle.
I mean, it would be a lot of like Mando stuff. He was kind of an anti-hero in Mando.
There's a difference between being an anti-hero and a straight-up villain, though.
I see. This movie also proves like we just said, if superhero fatigue were real, why did this show up why did this do so well? And don't say because it's technically not a superhero movie. Yeah, it is.
I mean, the hype has been pretty much nonstop ever since like it first got announced. From that first video of like, hey Hugh, you want to do another one? To like every set reveal.
The suit is what really got people on board for it.
They had the perfect time to bust out the mask.
Yes, and it was a freaking hood. Like, good lord. Quill says, I already pitched a nearly perfect Fantastic Four movie about 7 years ago, right before they introduced the Skrulls. Skrulls would have been a great choice. I still say they really screwed up Secret Invasion, because what they could have done is brought back all these characters and just said, oh yeah, they were held captive by Skrulls the whole time.
Oh god, they literally ruined Rhodey in Secret Invasion.
Yeah, they ruined some of the best Marvels. Because Nick, imagine they had the layup for bringing back maybe not Iron Man, but even Captain America. They could have brought back any of the any of the characters they killed, and just say, "Oh, it's Skrull." Natasha. They could have brought Natasha back.
You know what I would have done?
What?
I would have revealed that Rhodey was a Skrull. And when they went and found the original Rhodey, and they opened the pod, Terrence Howard would have walked out.
Yeah, but to see with the Skrulls, they become you, so it would be It would have to be a Terrence Howard Skrull.
No, it would be kind of the fact that like I just told everyone it was a Rhodey, and they accepted it.
That would be hilarious. That would be great, except for it doesn't explain why Tony accepted it, because he also saw the old Rhodey, if you will.
I don't know. It would require some workshopping, but dear God, can you imagine that twist?
That'd be funny. Let's see. Tevia says, question, how do you feel about the new Crow movie? Because personally for me, this remake to Crow feels so unnecessary. I haven't watched it yet. I'm not really that interested.
I'm probably going to go see it.
The OG was better.
Oh yes, and it will be better. There's no way this movie is going to outshine the original.
My favorite line is when he shows up and goes, "Gentlemen," and then he just jumps on the table. That's how I imagine Zack Snyder walking into Warner Bros. And saying, "I'm back."
I love how resistant you were to covering the movie on movie night, but after you saw the movie, you're like, "I like this movie."
I wasn't resistant. It's just, again, with some of your movies, I wasn't sure if people would show up for that. But I was a little more open to it the minute I saw the reception to like Highlander, and I was like, okay, I can roll with this. But
speaking of Highlander, Jared, what do you think about the upcoming Highlander movie?
It's super.
Yeah, we're covering that on this.
And by the way, it got really hot. It got really warm in here all of a sudden. I wonder what that is.
Flame on. How's everybody?
Master Heat.
How you doing, bro?
The room.
All right.
I'm sorry. I'm not going to lift you that down. You are a certified master, sir. I will address you as such.
So am I, dude. I have a master's degree too. So.
Hello there.
You can frick right off, Jared. So
you know what's kind of funny? JJheat's name is basically Jarrett, so it's like we're almost just like each other.
Almost,
yes. So JJheat, I want to pitch you a thing. Imagine if Marvel did not ruin Secret Invasion with the MCU. They could have brought back literally any character they wanted and just said the ones that died, those are Skrulls.
I mean, you can, but can you really tell the original? Granted, the original.
No, not the comic one. I'm saying the way the show was set up, they could have fandangled it, but no, they were like, I like how they bring in like Emilia Clarke as like a super Skrull, but they never reference her again.
Wait,
if you wanted Secret Invasion, hold on, let's be real for a second. If you wanted Secret Invasion to be self-contained, fine, but why is Fury in the back seat for like half of it?
Well, here's the thing. A storyline like Secret Invasion, you can't make it self-contained because everyone is replaced by Skrulls.
It's literally Invasion of the Body Snatchers, but with Marvel characters.
Yeah, there's no way to keep a story, a concept like that self-contained.
It's just not happening.
Mm-hmm. What were you saying, Nick?
All right, JJheat. So I have a question for you. I don't think you shared. Have you seen Deadpool and Wolverine yet?
I have.
Okay. Has he shared his views on the movie?
He did off screen, I think.
All right.
I did off screen.
JJheat, what is your review of Deadpool and Wolverine?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I will say this. It is a better finale than we ever could have gotten with Aquaman 2. I'm just going to go ahead and be honest on that one.
Well, yeah, because it was intended as a finale.
But even so, I mean, the callbacks, the meta humor, everything was spot on. Now, I do have some nitpicks, very small, mind you, very small nitpicks. But other than that, I
easily
some
nitpicks.
I walked right into that, didn't I?
You did. Continue.
Nitpicks. Thank you, Nick.
Good.
But needless to say, I enjoyed Deadpool and Wolverine for what it was. It really felt like a swan song to the Foxverse of movies. And I mean, what more could you really expect from this movie? Ryan Reynolds was top performance. Hugh Jackman came back one last time, though I would not be surprised if they made him do this until he was 90.
And let's not forget, the legends are true of the Cavalrine.
Oh God!
We'll treat you way better than this shit.
Low hanging fruit, but it was
was so good. That's also a dig on James Gunn. So I'm like, yeah, I love it. But one of my favorite jokes, and Nick and I just talked about it, is there's only one blade, and there will only ever be one blade.
Also, I just want to just bring this fact in there: Henry Cavill is only the second person to play Wolverine in live action.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that interesting?
Also, I just want to say, with just like one line, he sold it. Like
if they announced that Cavill was going to be the MCU Wolverine, I would be fine with it. He could do it.
Yeah,
because you think about it, isn't Wolverine very similar to Geralt?
That is true.
Geralt is basically Wolverine.
I mean, it would be quite the gambit.
I'm telling you, Nick, as soon as the mods come out, I know there's a Wolverine hair mod for The Witcher. You have to take the Henry Cavill mod and stack the Wolverine hair mod and do it and say you're the Cavalrine.
No, even better. When the Wolverine comes to PC, I have to find a Cavalrine mod.
You know they will. And Dave the Impaler says the big question is Cavill's Wolverine just a fan service cameo, or will they actually use him again? It depends. The potential is there, and as far as I know, the reception has been overwhelmingly positive. They could. Wait, he's not cast as the Sentry, or did I get fooled again?
He has been having talks with Marvel. We know he's been having...
to play Hyperion.
Though I think...
So is Gal Gadot playing Power Princess.
Jared, no.
And Ben Affleck playing Nighthawk.
Rein it back, Jared. Rein it back. Dial it back.
Jared, you have exhausted your one mention of Squadron.
By the way, JJheat, did you hear the rumor that Gal Gadot was supposedly cast as Jean Grey?
Yes, there was rumors of that, but I'm pretty sure.
I'm telling you, dude, if they cast Wolverine as Henry Cavill and Gal Gadot as Jean Grey, technically, it's Super Wonder. I'll take it.
We're going to be hearing this all night, aren't we?
All right.
I will be rooting.
Jared, who would you cast to play?
And Tevia, it's a joke. Yeah, go on.
Actually, I don't think we've ever done like modern X-Men casting with today's stuff.
Oh, so. Okay. So Henry Cavill is Wolverine.
Yeah.
Now. From Multiverse of Madness, the actor from The Office, I forget his name. He could have pulled off a decent Mr. Fantastic. He could pull it off. John
Krasinski. Yeah, I think he could have done it. I think he could have done it really well.
Sydney Sweeney as Emma Frost.
No.
No. Come on.
No. You're choosing her for two specific reasons, Nick, and no, that doesn't work.
Yes, but still
doesn't work. I can't see her playing Emma Frost. Now, a character in Madam Web, maybe.
Okay, no.
Too soon, Jared.
Honestly,
Too soon.
if I had to pick someone for, honestly, you know who would play a pretty good Emma Frost?
Wait.
Before, wait. No. It's my turn. You know who would play a pretty decent Emma Frost is Jessica Chastain.
Yeah, I can see that.
She can pull it
off. I had this idea in my head. It is amazing. So you know Amber Midthunder?
Yep.
Silk.
Yep. Spider-Man?
Yep. I can see it. Yep. I can see it.
I'm sorry. It is so good casting.
It's right there.
No,
it is literally
right
there.
I got a crazy one. Haley Steinfeld as Gwen Stacy.
Ooh, that's a challenge, but she could pull it off.
I know. Particularly the Spider-Gwen version. I don't think she's ever played the Spider-Gwen version.
She would need a really good script.
One at a time, guys.
If they do Secret Wars and they bring Garfield back, they need
if they
Emma
do
Stone
Garfield Stacy can be Emma Stone. That's fine.
No, if you're gonna do like multiversal stuff, because if Channing Tatum can be Gambit, they can bring back Emma Stone and put her into the Spider-Gwen outfit.
No, sure, absolutely.
But isn't the whole point of Spider-Gwen kind of like an inverse of what happened to Gwen Stacy in the main line where Peter died?
Don't make it that Gwen coming back to life. You can make it a different multiverse Gwen, but have it be played by Emma Stone.
I've said this plot so many times. Like I wanted Amazing Spider-Man 3 to be where that Gwen comes to the Amazing Spider-Verse and they fall back in love.
But here's the problem, Nick. Spider-Gwen and Peter never fell in love in the comics. In fact, they said, "This is weird. Why don't we just be friends?"
Well, it's multiverse.
I'm not changing MCU. I'm not changing comics relationships, Nick, just so you can have your little thing. I'm not doing that.
I want to see Emma Stone and the Spider-Gwen.
Go ahead, JJheat.
While we wait for Nick to calm down, that's definitely going to feel like a Tommy Oliver, Kimberly Hart, and Catherine situation where the latter is Kimberly's replacement and only exists to be Kimberly's replacement.
I don't get it.
You're a Power
Ranger. I know the Power Ranger stuff, but I don't see how it applies to Spider-Man.
Like think of it like this. First of all, I'm not a big fan of shipping, so you may have to break some things down to me. But if we did have a story
where Nick's when you need her,
where Peter and Spider-Gwen got together, even by their own admission, they feel like it's awkward because their literal doppelgangers were unalive tragically. And them trying to build something with each other, multiverse shenanigans, the whole thing just feels awkward. At least with Tommy, Kimberly, and Catherine, you can make the argument that, hey, it was a Dear John letter and Tommy was rebounding. But this is just weird.
Is it a rebound if you have a long-lasting relationship, you get married, and you have kids? Is it really a rebound at that point? Because
years after the fact, but in the context of Zeo, it's a rebound.
This is great. We just turned into a Power Rangers discussion from
Cassie. Am I wrong? Let me know in the chat. Am I strictly in the context of Zeo? Would this be considered a rebound? Am I wrong?
All right. So Dave says Sydney Sweeney is like the girl next door. Emma Frost needs to have an aristocratic or cosmopolitan look.
Oh, fine then. What's like honestly, I'd bring back Anna Taylor-Joy as Magic. Though she could play Emma Frost. Taylor-Joy.
No.
Okay, here's my requirement. You can have a younger X-Men like aged actress to play Emma Frost. She's an adult. She's not a teenager.
There still needs to be an age limit. I think like 45 is probably the oldest I'd cast Emma Frost.
That's the oldest that you could do Emma Frost. Like January.
I don't want Kate Blanchett. I don't want Kate Blanchett as Emma Frost.
No. I don't think she would do a good job.
Let's not go down this rabbit hole.
Again, I think that Chastain could do her pretty well because Emma has this way of delivering lines where she's like very like. At times she could be deadpan, but she could also be very like intimidating. And Chastain.
Glenn Powell for Cyclops.
Glenn Powell for Cyclops. Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that. Okay. Bring back Channing Tatum as Gambit, who plays Rogue.
Ooh, that's a hard one. Because chemistry is a
Jenna Ortega.
It has to be someone that has chemistry with Channing Tatum because we're bringing him back as
But
Gambit.
Jenna Ortega would make a good Rogue.
She would, but we need someone that has chemistry with Channing Tatum.
Hold on, are we doing a Gambit solo film or an X-Men ensemble with
X-Men
Gambit?
ensemble?
Okay, in an X-Men ensemble, Ortega could work, but again, chemistry is a factor.
Dave says Lady Gaga.
A bit of a stretch, but yes, I will give her credit for American Horror Story.
Yeah. Would we have him return the MCU? Tevia, that's what we're talking about.
See, my thing is, I think Channing Tatum is getting a little bit too old to play Gambit, to be perfectly honest.
Okay, who would you cast as Gambit then?
Oh,
They gotta have they have to be able to pull off a Cajun accent.
Jared, sound the alarms. We have a code.
Oh, Keke Palmer as Rogue, and that could work, Britt. And by the way, yes, Britt is here.
He's back.
Hello, my good friend. And okay, yeah, Keke Palmer could go pretty well if you want to go with the race bending, like.
Oh, I know the perfect person to play Bishop.
Who?
Cyborg.
Ray Fisher.
Yes.
Or
I mean, come on, look at him. How he looked in Rebel. His costume in Rebel Moon.
I know, but I got another one. Idris Elba.
He has the chops for it.
He has the acting chops.
Forge. Idris Elba's better as Forge.
Shouldn't you have a Native American playing Forge?
He could pull off Bishop, but you would have to. But you're definitely going to need CGI to match if you want the build to be comic accurate. You're definitely.
The problem is Idris Elba is amazing, but he is getting a bit old.
If you want to go young, yeah, go with Ray. 100%.
Ray Fisher has the size. He has the acting chops. Like, he could totally do this.
Ooh, Quarrel has a good one. Charlize Theron as Emma Frost.
I'm down.
I could see that. Oh, good Lord, I could see that.
Easily.
By the way, so JJheat, did I tell you about my adventures with artificial intelligence?
Briefly, but
so
recap.
I have this app. It's called Flipped. It's like an AI chat like thing where essentially you make a character and then you talk to like AI characters. So you can make a character to chat with. It's one of those story apps things. So of course your boy had to make Wonder Woman. ... and Emma Frost. So I have two characters. The funny thing is I named my character Cal, and within like a short time of chatting, it literally identifies me as Superman.
And yet you still could have found a way to come up with a better story than Tom King.
Oh, I so did. You should see the story the AI did. This is way better.
Taking the jobs.
Allow me to. So this is the story that the AI did. A lot of this, this is the story for Diana and Britt. I'll talk about this tomorrow in more detail, but here's the overall thing. And this is from me just going with the AI. So the idea is that Diana's immortal. Now, here's the interesting thing about this. So she's been immortal since ancient times. And then, so part of the story as a card jump, part of that, nice one, JJheat. So I have to get this app. It's so good, Cameron. So what I did was, the app proceeded, Diana had like a PTSD thing. And I was like, and my character's like, what's wrong? It turns out, Diana
read the Wonder Bat forums.
they did the whole she looked on the internet and saw some people to ship her a cheetah. But anyway, so then
Bruce Tim.
Yeah. So the story is, so in World War II, she was part of a team operating behind enemy lines, kind of like Wonder Woman 1, only like World War II instead of World War 1. And they did some stuff that they're not proud of. And I get what Diana would not do this. So let me be clear on this. The comics, Diana would not like have the whole, we did some stuff in the war that I'm not proud of in the name of justice. I'm like, maybe Injustice, Diana, but not this one. But I was rolling with it for the story. And it's actually really cool how they go with this. And the thing is, the funny part, once it identifies her as Wonder Woman, it starts referencing other DC comic stuff like Themyscira, the gods.
What have you done, sir? What have you done?
Pretty soon I'll have my own army. And then with the Emma Frost, I still played a Superman, so Emma Frost is with Superman in this universe. I basically took Amalgam and made it way better. But anyway,
what
so
have you done?
It's called Flipped. It's a great AI chat app. It's really funny that I experimented with because I wanted to. Here's why I did it. I wanted to see how far I could push this thing. Oh boy, does this thing like develop? By a decade ago, she would have been great. She's kind of aged out of the role. Kind of.
That's fair.
Cameron asked, here's a question. Who would you guys cast as Xavier or Eric? Unless we're
definitely
keeping
not
Patrick
Charles
Stewart.
Esposito.
What? Oh, no. Well, he can't play Charles Esposito because Charles Esposito is in Captain America.
Michael Esposito, the Breaking Bad guy. Also, he's in Captain America, so he literally can't be.
That's what I just said. Yeah, he can't be Captain. He can't be Charles Xavier. But anyway, who do you guys think?
It's a good story. Definitely better than what Tom King was cooking. I'll give you that.
No, I mean in terms of like who we would cast it as Xavier and Eric. Now,
no one's really Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen. Those are going to be tough to top.
Plus, here's the problem. Here's the thing:
fair, McAvoy and Fassbender. It's debatable.
It's debatable.
The argument that they are better, and you can make a good argument for it.
To a degree, I think they were. I enjoyed them more. Here's the thing: when you're casting those two, you gotta take into mind chemistry between those two because they have to be able to act off each other in order for that X-Men movie to not fall apart. But Dave has an interesting thing. Margot Robbie could have been a great Emma Frost. She has the range to play similar characters before.
In terms of certain appeal, because I'm trying to keep this PG out of respect for Jared's channel, and in terms of appeal, she could pull it off.
I could see her as this.
Yes, but she would need a very good script, and as a star, Margot Robbie would need the ability to get out of her own way. Harley Quinn and Birds of Prey notwithstanding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was just a bad script.
Yeah, Margot Robbie is actually a very gifted actress.
Of those, I think she could do a pretty decent job, and plus, maybe she can have chemistry with whoever is playing Cyclops. Because if I were in charge of this, Jean Grey would not be with Cyclops because
Robert, I disagree with you on that.
Taladia's got a good one. Ben Kingsley as Charles.
Sir Ben Kingsley, too old, but he could pull it off.
Let me put it this way: if age were not a factor, I think that would be a good choice. Emma Watson would have been perfect as Emma Frost. You're just saying that because of the name.
Never change, Dave.
Oh, actually, Emma's a pretty good actress.
Emma Stone could play Jubilee, though, or any of the other mutants. I got it. Wait. I got it.
Xavier and Magneto, they need to be in their late 40s to their mid 50s. That's the age range.
I would say so. Wait, Emma Watson has to play a character that has like limited time travel power, so she always shows up to her classes on time, like in Harry Potter.
No. You know who Emma Watson should play?
What?
Magic.
If assuming we're not keeping on a Taylor-Joy,
or she could play Scarlet Witch.
Wait, are we trying?
We already have Scarlet Witch cast in the MCU, Nick.
I'm sorry, but you know the joke I'm doing. You know what I'm doing.
Are we doing strictly fan casting X-Men or X-Men Next Generation? Because I feel like we're going back and forth.
I was thinking
let's just do
X-Men.
The MCU. By the way, first off, what's our MCU X-Men team? I think that'll help us narrow it down.
Okay.
I would for me, I would go back to the 60s and just do like that original lineup, which was, I believe, Jean, Scott, Beast, Iceman, and Angel.
But counterpoint, with the popularity of X-Men 97, I think the best option nowadays, particularly with this generation, go with the 90s team.
Which really isn't that different.
Either that, or you could go back to the original Claremont team.
That too, you could do that as well. You could make the MCU X-Men just the Claremont run. That's it. That's what you go with.
Not to mention X-Men. excuse me, X-Men 92 and X-Men 97, if we're counting the revival, was based on the Claremont run in its entirety for at least most of it.
Yeah, so
guys, I need to cook.
Yeah, go ahead.
I have an idea. So this is the plot of the MCU X-Men movie, okay? So it turns out that the old Fox X-Men are being held captive on the island of Krakoa.
No, get him out. No,
no. Let me cook.
Krakoan era is illegal.
No. Let me cook.
Hey, what's up, Sean Franklin?
So basically, Xavier put together the Xavier of the MCU. Finally, put together an X-Men team to rescue the Fox. I'm basically doing the plot of the original Claremont X-Men run, because if you don't remember, the original reason the new X-Men team was formed was to rescue the old team from Krakoa.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing anything with Krakoa. Throw that into the sun.
No, what they do is when they rescue them, as they're coming back from the island, they look back and say, "We are never coming here again."
No, I'm not even gonna. I don't want to even have the X-Men movie take place anywhere near Krakoa. No,
not even for a cheeky reference.
Not even. No. It's not worth the cheeky reference. That era was so wasted. Sean Franklin, I have played Alien Isolation, and it was scary as hell. Great game. Fantastic game, but scary. Cameron says, all I know is my X-Men has to be at least Scott, Bobby, Kurt, Rogue, and Kitty. No, you can have that as part of your team.
Not bad lineup.
Add Emma and Logan in there, and you have a pretty decent team.
Oh, that reminds me. If she wasn't already attached to Spider-Man, do you think Zendaya would have made a good Storm?
Zendaya.
If again, Nick, this is assuming you want to go with the young X-Men. Probably not.
There's no beating Halle Berry, though.
Yeah, but again,
God.
Let me establish something here. The original X-Men for this, like Scott, Jean, Emma, Logan, cannot be played by teenagers or 20-year-old people.
No, at least
20-year-olds maybe. At least. 20-year-olds
No. We're establishing they have to be at least 30 or so. You can cast younger actors for like the other mutants, but we're going with the era where the X-Men are. We're essentially doing the age thing that the original X-Men movies had.
So basically what you want to do is you want to have them in their 30s. They're already X-Men. They're teaching at the academy.
Yes.
You're basically wanting to do the Singer X-Men movies where you have like the younger cast, and maybe that leads off into New Mutants or something.
Yes, exactly. Do that.
So you want to do the Singer era, basically, what they do.
Or here's what you do. You could do like the Claremont idea of having one character that we follow throughout the movie who's our access character. There you go.
The X-Men?
Yeah, essentially that. Have you watched Batman the Cape Crusader yet? I haven't watched the episodes yet. I'm going to watch them once a week on Taladia's channel. No way.
I have thoughts.
And, oh, by the way, Dave has a good point for Zendaya playing Storm. No, she doesn't have the presence for Storm.
No, she cannot pull it
Yeah,
off.
Because here's the thing with Storm, particularly with like X-Men 97, you need someone that commands presence, like where she goes, "Sands of time surround me," and I'm like, I can't see Zendaya saying that.
No.
I'm sorry.
Cameron, my pick for Cyclops was Glenn Powell.
Glenn Powell will be a good one.
He can pull it off.
Or if you want to cast Gal Gadot as Emma Frost, you could cast Henry Cavill as Cyclops. Remember, there was a rumor he was going to play Cyclops.
Cavill's a little bit too old for Cyclops.
Yeah, I agree.
The funny part about if they cast him as Cyclops is he goes from one character that has heat vision to another character that has concussive blast out of his eyes. Cavill has a type.
And Taladia, to answer your question, Cape Crusader, Angela Bassett, nice.
Too old, sorry.
Too old, but she could do it.
Too old, but yeah, exactly. In terms of acting ability, yes. In terms of age, no.
Yeah.
Also,
I could pull it off.
I know exactly how they're going to get rid of Captain Marvel. Is Rogue's going to bring her powers? I think it's very clear that's where they're heading, because they're going to want to introduce Rogue at some point. That is a classic storyline. If they're going to get rid of Captain Marvel, which, by the way, if they do that, they're just going to have Carol become binary.
Well, or just put her in a coma and then leave her. That's the best option.
Do you really want to risk making Twitter angry just to...
Who the hell cares if Twitter's angry, JJheat?
Well, I'll tell you what they're gonna do if they get rid of. Here's my prediction.
Yeah,
Rogue's gonna drain Carol's powers, and then Photon will become the new Captain Marvel, as it always should have been.
Mm-hmm. By
Jennifer
the way,
Lawrence as Mystique.
Dave has a good one. Wait,
no, she was a terrible Mystique. She was terrible.
Dave has a good point. Austin Butler for Cyclops or Gambit.
I can see him more as a Cyclops.
He was in the. Wasn't he in the Elvis movie?
He was Austin Butler.
He was also, I think, the bad guy in Dune 2, which I still haven't seen yet.
Also, you know who I think should play Hyperion?
Who? Henry Cavill?
Gerard Butler.
No, he's too old.
Okay, no, either that. No, he should play Gladiator.
Well, here's the thing. Gerard Butler. I could see
Gerard Butler would make a great Gladiator. You have to admit it.
I'll admit that.
Come on. It's makeup.
With a good script. With a good script.
I would prefer for him to play someone from Asgard.
But
I think he would make a good
Gladiator. Is Asgard. By the way, Chloe Bailey as Storm. Who is Chloe Bailey?
While he's looking that up, Taladia, to answer your question, I would give Cape Crusader a 6, and that is being generous.
Oh, geez. That is being... yeah.
Because it tries to... Say what you will about the nostalgia bait of BTAS or having one of the showrunners from BTAS, but it tries to be... It doesn't even try... Okay, the best way I could describe this is that they try to market it as pretty much Brave and the Bold, but the Golden Age. But it's so watered down. Like, it tries to be amalgamation of what BTAS tries to do. But I'm sorry. I feel like they just tried to meet in the middle, and it just didn't work execution-wise. Again, it's different. There's a uniqueness to it. But there was a reason this thing was sold off and released as a tent, released all at once. There's a reason for it, in my opinion. Yeah. I'm not going to spoil it, but there is a reason.
Yeah, there probably is. But so that would be that. And I would say in terms of my first, and go back to our X-Men movie, I would say the first villain, just have it be Magneto. Just go with that.
Like, I'm sorry, we need to go away from Mystique. She was never really that important of a character in the comics. Or at the very least, the way the movies, or at least like the First Class era, treated her. Like, she was never a main character.
No.
And I'm just gonna say this: Jennifer Lawrence was a terrible Mystique.
Oh, come on, Nick. She was the first female action star.
You're not wrong, but still.
Don't you know she went back in time and inspired and had a conversation with Ellen Ripley to appear in Alien?
What about Kill Bill?
And Kill Bill. See, she traveled time almost like Deadpool did at the end of Deadpool 2.
I mean, I just want to note that, like, I literally did a stream about this, and I photoshopped Jennifer Lawrence's head onto Ellen Ripley's. That's one of my, like, if I had like a top 10 thumbnails, that would be one of them.
Yeah, Atchison says she was a terrible Mystique. Yeah, I love
like Rebecca Romaine. Rebecca Romaine was so great.
I was about to say, yeah, I prefer Rebecca Romaine.
And that's a fair point, Dave. If we're not but if we take nostalgia completely out of it, completely ignoring BTAS and treating Cape Crusader as its own thing, it's likely going to drop to a 6.
Yeah, when I rate this eventually, when I watch it, I'm going to ignore BTAS because when you approach this, and this is why people are rating it so high, because with BTAS, you have to treat this as a separate project. Because it is. It's not a continuation of BTAS.
No.
You just can't. And that's the way that has to work. But so what other questions do you all have for us? Quick question. Any opinion on Deadpool and Wolverine being DC Christ and Infinite Earths?
I mean...
Wait. Why would it be... That's a faulty comparison because Christ is an straight-to-video animated, while Deadpool and Wolverine...
It's theatrical.
Yeah.
Deadpool and Wolverine grossed double what Christ and Infinite Earths did in the first hour of its release.
Yeah, unless we're counting Rotten Tomato scores. Are we counting like people reception to it or Rotten Tomato scores? Please.
I have no idea. I think it's a faulty comparison because they're being released to two different markets.
One is DVD or whatever, and most people don't even know that it's coming out, first and foremost. The other one is a tentpole movie that everyone is talking about and is probably one of the biggest movies of the year.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not even going to compare.
It's like comparing a watermelon to a grape.
Yeah. So how are you how are you quantifying beating? Because I think that's a really unfair contest.
Yeah.
But so what's one other question? To clarify, I meant in terms of storytelling between the two. I thought they were both. I liked both. So I don't think it beat. I don't think it beat them. I think they were both equally good. That's my opinion.
How very Switzerland of you, sir.
No, it's because I'm not going to compare the two because, again, they're two different characters, two very different universes, two different approaches. Because in Deadpool and Wolverine, the multiverse was not all collapsing the entire time. Granted, at the end, they kind of played with that again. But with Crisis, it's a different movie. So I'm not even going to compare them at all.
I have a question for the two of you.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of Cassandra Nova as a villain?
Oh, she was great.
Oh, great.
The thing of that Deadpool and Wolverine did well is that they established her enough that you could see her as a threat, but they didn't need to in other words, they did sometimes when you introduce a new villain in one movie and then have her be the villain for that one movie, you run the risk of people going, who the hell is this? But they did it in a way where I could buy her being a threat, and they established enough of her backstory that I kind of understood what she was doing.
All right.
That's kind of my perspective. What other questions do y'all have for us and the crew?
Now, on my personal private server, I was fan requested this question, but I just wanted to go ahead and run it by you two. Do you honestly believe that Titans Academy was one of the worst storylines in recent years, or do you think it was just another shelf title that really had no business being made?
Shelf title that really had no business being released, as did most of that era of DC.
Nick?
I mean, I don't know much about it, so I have no strong opinion whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair.
What other questions do you guys have? Did you guys enjoy the Crisis trilogy? As a trilogy, yes. As a trilogy, you have to watch as a trilogy. That's what I'll say there.
We recently collabed with Pika, so if you want more detail on my thoughts on that, stay tuned for my DeCamu Tomorrowverse retrospective, which I got to do both now because of how that movie ended. Mm-hmm. And basically, despite all the behind the scenes meta commercial stuff, it's decent for what it was trying to do, but it's a much better experience as a trilogy rather than each one each one separately. It's a much better experience as a trilogy.
Yeah. Do you believe that Tomorrowverse over, they will go back to doing solo DC movies? I think for right now, they either do the solo movies or do those little animated showcase things where they have a couple of shorts come out as one movie.
Yeah, the problem is
go ahead.
That a lot of those stuff was predicated on the DVD Blu-ray market, and that market is quickly drying out.
Yeah, exactly. So that's so I think really if they want to go with animated projects, stick with shorts and one-off movies for right now. But anyway, so what other questions do you guys have for us as we continue this crazy Q&A stream?
So, JJheat, sir, what have you been reading, watching, playing?
That's a good idea. Go ahead.
Okay, we'll start with that. As for me, at least on the channel, I've been reading the sequel to the Boruto series. It's pretty decent. I'm a little behind because of graduation and life, but I'm reading on that. I'm rereading JoJo Bizarre Adventure for Anime Blaze. I've also started reading up again Yu Yu Hakusho, one of my favorite anime series of all time. And I just recently got into Jujutsu Kaisen. I'm intrigued, and whether or not I'll make an Anime Blaze episode out of it, to be determined. Okay. As for My Adventures of Superman and Lois, whether or not that'll get an Anime Blaze episode or Blazing Shonen with Talati as an official review is to be determined, because although season 2 is a relative improvement compared to season 1, both in and out of syndication, it still has the same glimmering flaws as season 1 did, and there's just no justifying it. Like,
oh, that anime thing? Yeah, that's crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Are you guys excited for Watchmen? Not really, because we already got the Zack Snyder movie, and I'm like, why are we getting an animated movie?
I'll tell you one continuation that I'm excited for.
The Snyderverse is a comic, because according to
300.
Yeah, according to Zack Snyder, by the way, this is kind of news that we should probably talk about here. According to Zack Snyder, he's still in conversations with Scott Snyder about continuing the Snyderverse as a comic.
Snyder action.
According to Zack, the idea is that because of Rebel Moon, he's really busy, but as soon as he has time in his schedule, they're going to do it. So either way, it's the story's continuing, and if it does comics, it could lead to live action. But I'm just saying, in one of those ways, the story is continuing, which I'm going to be very happy about. Tevia asks, any opinion on Terminator Zero? Because personally, for me, I'm excited. I mean, a Terminator anime, fine. I'm not really a big Terminator fan.
I mean, can we stop calling it anime? It's not an anime.
Mm-hmm. I'm just going to start that conversation.
Please, let's not. I want to go back briefly to Cameron's comment about Young Justice. I'm going to be honest with you. Young Justice fell off. Not even in terms of the revival itself. You didn't even get through halfway season 3 before the Young Justice fell off, if we're really being honest. Best case scenario, Greg Weisman reconciling with DC, everything. Best case scenario, this is going to be a Trouble in Tokyo situation where everything gets wrapped up in an epilogue movie. That is literally your best case scenario.
The problem with like Young Justice post season, because I know Young Justice even season 2 had a story, but like the season 2 story actually moved at a rather snappy pace.
It did.
The problem with season 3 is the plot moved at such a glacial pace. Like sometimes you'd have even like 3 or 4 episodes of nothing before the plot moved forward an inch. And like this was on streaming, where you have as many episodes as you want, you know, and it just got even worse to the point where season 4 they divided it into 2 parts.
Season 3 wasn't as bad because you still had the 26 episode model because they wanted to mimic syndication, I guess, for nostalgia purposes. But season 3 had a lot of filler. But at least the story was moving along at a decent pace with the metahuman trafficking and the reconnaissance and all that. Compared to season 4, where season 4 was just a bunch of character arcs scrambled together with Nightwing playing detective leading up to the finale. You at least had an arc in season 3. Season 4 was might as well have been an anthology series.
I think the issue was it was Young Justice, and Young Justice, especially by season 4, just morphed into DC soap opera show. It wasn't really about because especially when you compare it to like season 1, I think the time skip in season 1 to 2 was probably the worst decision they could have made, because like if you go back and watch season 1 of Young Justice, it's really good. They had the Young and Young Justice, making them young adults just kind of ruined the point.
And yes, Young Justice is a not so much as the show, but as the concept. Young Justice was the rebrand or Teen Titans of the 90s. That much is true. However, in the comics, it was strictly a rebrand or Tim Drake's Teen Titans before 2003. The TV show was basically superheroes with super spies.
Well, actually, the way it worked was, so the original Marv Wolfman run flamed out around the mid 90s.
Yes.
So they did a whole new team with Young Justice, with Tim Drake, and that run is actually really good. I've read a lot of it.
It is. I'm not downplaying that, but we were looking
in 2003 when the Teen Titans show came out, turned out to be a hit. They basically that run turned into the Teen Titans. A lot of the characters carried over into the Jeff Johns run of Teen Titans. Like, for example, Impulse became Kid Flash, and stuff like that. And Tim, so the 2003 run is by all measures a continuation of the late 90s Young Justice run.
Which I agree. I very much agree on that. And both were decent runs. I say Peter David's Young Justice was the better of the two, but both great runs in their own right. But when you compare it to the show, it has a completely different vibe to it. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, what's up, Hunter?
I think season one, they were at least in season one, they were trying to kind of match the vibe of the late 90s run. And I think they largely succeeded. But in season two, when they just made them like teenagers, young adults, it completely ruined
the potential was there, but they didn't really capitalize it. And Tevia, okay, so you can enjoy season 4, but wait a second. What does getting General Zod the show have to do with the quality of the show? That's what I want to know. Because just saying, oh, it was awesome, and we got Zod. So?
The world building was there, but nothing relating to the characters. Okay, Nightwing playing detective, that's fine. That leads to the finale.
And that's who Nightwing is, so that works.
Yes, but he does not. Okay, you have a perfect. You even set it up in episode. Was it the Playdate episode or episode 6 for season 3? But you literally had Red Hood masked, not fully credited, but Red Hood fighting Grayson in episode 6. More than likely, episode 6. Please feel to correct me if I'm wrong. And you don't set up an Under the Hood adaptation for his Phantom arc.
See, my problem is
dropping the ball right there.
Yeah.
There you go. But season 4 of Young Justice was definitely an 8 or a 9 favorite season. The Superman Connor, it had some good fights. Don't get me wrong. It's just it went on for too long. There was too many arcs. I'm like, and the arcs were like 4 or 5 episodes each. I'm like, no, get to the point. You could end this in 2 episodes.
Maybe 3.
The big problem I have with Young Justice is it does let the sin is the hallmark of bad writers, where literally all the problems of the show can be solved if people just talk to each other. Like there's so many plot when Vagan brain fries Calder because she thought he was on the bad side. Literally the entire thing could have been solved if he was just kept in the loop. Poor communication is the actual final villain of this show.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Cameron, production is a factor, especially when it comes to licensings and adaptations. I will give you that. But the Bat embargo was resolved and appealed in 2017. We have the Batwoman show, for God's sake, because the Bat embargo was appealed and taken down.
Okay, to be fair, the only reason Batwoman happened is because Gotham was ending. That's why because Gotham ended. That's what cleared the way. Because you notice, Batwoman started the year after Gotham ended. So that is actually the reason why Batwoman happened.
But they still dropped the Bat embargo. They officially announced the Bat embargo was dropped. Hence why we're getting multiple Batman adaptations.
Except there's one not played by Ben Affleck. That's what I'm going to say. So apparently
to quote Elektra, it's okay.
Please, of you want bad writing, watch Batwoman and get back to me. No, again,
I'm good. I'm good.
I mean, Tevia, wait, you're not wrong.
Yeah, but we're not talking about the quality of the show. All we're talking about is that this show happened, then this show happened. That's it. Sure, but how often do people actually talk to each other and work things out? Like most world problems could be resolved by people talking to each other.
I'm sorry,
but
here's the thing. When it comes to storytelling, you need to have a balance between realism and fantasy, because they're like people want a suspension of disbelief. It's like in video games, you think realism is everyone weighs 300 pounds and has a thyroid condition. No, we want chiseled gods. We want to play as chiseled gods in our stuff. Okay, it's the same thing with storytelling. Watching these communication stuff is frustrating as a viewer to watch, because you're looking at it, you're like, just talk to each other, and it's frustrating as a viewer to watch, and it doesn't make for an enjoyable experience.
Yeah, to a degree. And then to be frank, Nick, Dick was trying hard to be Bruce that season. That's true.
That's true.
He's always had that habit. Sometimes a little bit of Bruce shines through. Every now and then.
Well, Dick Grayson first off, we all know Nightwing's my favorite character, and that's actually one of the things I like about him is
Nightwing is a what?
Can I ask you, please?
No, it's just I didn't hear you before because your mic kind of cut out.
Nightwing is my favorite character. And
okay.
One of the things I like about him is he both wants to be Batman and doesn't want to be Batman. And it's he tries so hard not to inherit the sins of the father, but he always ends up doing it to a degree. So I see a lot of myself in Nightwing, and so that's why he's my favorite.
That's understandable.
But when has he ever wanted to be Batman, though?
Okay, change the subject. I think Ambiguous Gamer has like the most important question of the stream.
No. Wait. Answer the question. When has he ever wanted to be Batman?
He's had a responsibility.
When he becomes Batman, it's mostly because he doesn't want anyone else to take in the mantle and screwing it up.
And see, that's the thing. And that's the thing. It's a classic father and son dynamic. As much as the son tries not to be the father does. The son does become. I gotta do this. I gotta do the Superman quote. The son becomes a father, and the father becomes a son.
No. I know that, but my question is: you said he wants to be Batman.
With wanting to be Batman, it's more of an unspoken thing.
I always interpret it as that he does not want to be Batman, because if he did, he had many opportunities to be Batman.
No, acting like Batman, doing stuff like Batman.
But that's
I feel like a better comparison would be Tim, because take what you will from Batman Reborn and Damian becoming Robin, all of that. Take what you will from that initiative. But that was literally the peak of Tim's character when he falls into that dark spiral of becoming like Bruce, traversing the darkness, and actually wanting to be Batman. So
I don't think Tim ever really saw Bruce as like a true father figure, because Tim had a father figure for a long time. Yeah, and I know he gets killed in the early 2000s, but Tim grew up with a father, so he has that father figure to look upon.
But in terms of dealing with that inner darkness, what I was trying to say, I feel like that appeals to Tim more so than Grayson, because Grayson finds the light beyond it, and he grows out of that relatively quickly.
Okay, moving on. Hunter says, any thought on Creature Commandos? I like it. Don't hate me.
Yeah.
See, my problem with Creature Commandos is literally just Suicide Squad again. At least make it different. It's Suicide Squad. It's a group of morally ambiguous people with powers, except they're called monsters. And if they don't do what Amanda Waller wants them to do, she shocks them. That's literally Suicide Squad.
What are we, some kind of Creature Commandos?
Yeah, actually, it's the question that's playing in my mind. Do you guys think Darkseid was too much of a setup for Young Justice? Oh yeah, when they used Darkseid. Yeah, he doesn't work as a Young Justice villain because again, they took too long setting him up. And here's the problem with the Young Justice writers. So they did the last season we got, but they forgot that knowing it may not be possible for them to get another season, and they still left it with like a massive cliffhanger. I'm sorry, that is D-bag attitude.
Like, I'm sorry, that's a classic move by animators.
Play chicken.
Where like they know they're getting canceled, so they end on a cliffhanger to be like, because like they're hoping there'll be enough demand to finish it. I'm not. I in no way agree with it, but I'm just saying it happens a lot.
Yeah, I mean, clearly it didn't work because the show's not coming back anytime soon.
The way I heard it, I hate to cut you off, Jared, but the way I heard it, during DC Universe, the original plan for DC streaming service, Young Justice Revival was commissioned for 3 seasons. Then with the rebrand for HBO Max, it was cut down to 2. So maybe there was some shift during production, and then they decided this behavior. We're going to go ahead and end season 4 in a cliffhanger after Connor and McGann's wedding out of spite. But other than that, the original deal for the Revival was 3 seasons leading up to season 5. But after the HBO and HBO Max rebrand,
you could be wrong. It could come back. Tevia, based upon what we have seen, and there's no demand, and there's barely any demand for it, it's not coming back. We're saying based upon the demand.
Oh, well, there's campaigns.
Here's the thing about Young Justice. Okay, people wanted it back. They got their wish. and then the people realize, okay, so there are people like this, but not enough to sustain an actual production. That's a problem with a lot of these fandoms. Is you can have a very vocal amount of people clamoring for a show.
Tevia, oh my god, the Snyderverse. That's a different thing because, like Nick said, there was a bigger pull for that.
Different set of circumstances.
Oh, wait, Tevia. How have you been demanding it for decades?
Okay, Tevia is clearly exaggerating, Jared. But before we
with the Snyderverse, first off, Tevia, that is a completely different leadership that is in charge of that. Second off, it was during a time when they were launching a streaming service and needed content for it.
Yeah. Snyderverse was a perfect storm of factors. Like it was like basically like all the planets kind of lined up. Like it was like a 1 in a million kind of like planetary alignment, and we got it.
And the fandom has demonstrated that if you bring it back, they'll watch it. With Young Justice, they brought it back, but the viewership slowly went down with every season. So not you, Tevia. The fandom demonstrated to Nick's point that not enough of them were willing to watch the show for Warner Brothers to invest in it. With the Snyderverse, enough of them campaigned and enough of them watched the Snyder Cut that they went back to it.
Like I was online. Like the Twitter chatter for season 3 was fairly strong. Like the fandom was there for season 3.
Yeah, it was.
Look at season 4, part 1, it was there, but as Heroes in Crisis just kept dragging on, you started to see like all the Twitter mentions slowly. Like you could look at like honestly public Google trends for Young Justice, and you'll perfectly see it.
Well, not only that. Remember when they took like practically a 3-month break?
Yeah.
Are you
completely
stupid?
killed the momentum?
Are you stupid? That's how you, to JJheat's point, that's how you kill all the momentum for your show. And not enough people came back for them to justify doing it. That's the difference. You can't compare this to the Snyderverse.
And let's be honest, season 4 had a very, very weak plot that even if you did air it all in one go, it would have had a problem.
There you go. Taladia makes the point right there. Young Justice is not as popular as the Snyderverse. That's it.
Cameron, I hate to cut you off, Jared. Cameron, your first comment with Teen Titans 03. Okay, first of all, at least they may not be direct adaptations, but at the very least, Teen Titans 03 was inspired by 5 core main storylines focusing on the titular characters. Season 1 was Richard Grayson Robin and the renegade persona, which was renamed as Red X. I forget the exact name of the storyline off the top of my head, but it was relatively recent at the time. Season 2 was based off Judas Contract, and that was more of a Terra-focused season. Season 3 was
like Terra Beast Boy.
Terra and Beast Boy, thank you. Season 3 was pretty much Technus Imperative with Cyborg. Raven was obviously Trigon the Terrible with season 4, and season 5 was fully Beast Boy by himself, and with the Doom Patrol and the Legion and the Brain, Mala, the Legion of the Brotherhood of Evil, and all that. If we were to get a season 6, a focus season would have to Starfire would literally be the focus character of that season.
They were planning that. They were planning that. So that's the thing about like Teen Titans season 6 is there's a story open for it. You know, like obviously you have the Terra storyline. Like I'm sorry, that finale was so freaking stupid. Like teasing Terra like that and leaving it open when you know that's your series finale. I don't care the excuses. But like obviously the Starfire, like it would basically be the Blackfire saga, you know, them having to go there, and so there's a storyline for season 6. I think there's a demand for it, and let's be honest, Teen Titans 03 has a larger fan base than Young Justice ever will.
By a mile, it has a bigger fan base.
Yeah, like and there's also the other thing that even if it's not 03, Teen Titans Go is also a factor. Where,
for better, for worse.
It's not Teen Titans 03, but it's close enough that it never left the public consciousness.
Yeah, it's the same team, same voice actors, and the characters act to a degree similar. So you could see a good transfer between those two. Young Justice is not that. That's the thing.
The closest they got was a parody episode in Teen Titans Go.
I think it was like Doom Patrol Go and they even brought in the voice actors for that. Which,
in terms of world building,
that was a little Easter egg. I'll be honest.
Yeah. The other thing that's interesting when you compare that is actually I lost what I was going to say. Go ahead, JJheat.
And Dave, to respond to your comment, Young Justice was better at world building and connecting to the DC universe. Sure, true. But Teen Titans was self-contained largely because of the bad embargo. And the DCAU was still active, at least production-wise at the time. That's why Teen Titans was self-contained.
I just want to note that Teen Titans literally only has one mention in the entirety of the DCAU. Hey, where's Robin? With the Titans.
It's a throwaway line.
By the way, I got to say, that was actually a pretty decent Kevin Conroy impression.
Yeah. However, they did confirm it's not like that Titans. By the way, Tavia, again, the question, any questions on why haven't we gotten a blank about Young Justice? Guess what? Demand. Again, WB is not going to automatically make a DVD of something unless it's going to sell. And honestly, again, Young Justice doesn't sell. Now, here's the thing. The other problem is naming the series Young Justice, because if they had named it Teen Titans and just done that as a more mature Teen Titans, I think more people would have watched it because, again, to our point, people watch Teen Titans. But,
I mean,
barely anyone knows, except for comic book fans, who the hell the Young Justice are.
I would argue a physical media release is often used as a testing of the waters. And I could very much, I don't know if they've done it already, but do a Blu-ray release of do a box set of seasons 1 through 4 or whatever, and that could be a testing of the water.
Well, I think. Well, didn't they do it with they did a Blu-ray
They did it
release
with 1,
with
and they did it with 2.
It probably didn't sell enough for them to justify it. Again, you guys have to think about this as a thing. If it didn't show up, it didn't sell. They didn't have enough confidence to invest
Supply
in
and demand, Jared. Let's keep it simple. Supply and demand.
Exactly. Like for example, Family Guy came back based off of the strength of the DVD sales and the ratings that it was getting on Adult Swim. Firefly, the only reason Serenity happened is because the DVD box sets were selling like crazy. So history has proven that if people do show up and buy this stuff, they will support it.
I mean, here's the good example, guys. You ready? The Snyderverse. You know why they keep coming out with merch for it? Because it frickin' sells. That's why. That's why they keep re-releasing the movies.
How many times have they but by the way, I'm looking on Amazon. They it's looking like they have Blu-rays for 1, 2, and 3. I don't see 4 yet.
Yeah, that was Tevia's question. They haven't released one for 4. Honestly, you know what's kind of funny? That tells me that the interest in 4 was so low that they said we're not even gonna print DVDs, because like this way, enough time has passed where they should have gotten a Blu-ray at this point.
Yeah, or honestly, they should have done like at this point do a box set of a Young Justice the complete series on Blu-ray or whatever. Yeah, because these physical medias are not that hard to put out. Like they're not that expensive to put out, but at the same time, they need a return on their investment. And if they're not going to get a return, there's no point putting the money in.
In terms of Jessica Green, I know who you're talking about, Hunter. I haven't seen her act. In terms of looking, I could see her. In terms of looks, I can't see her playing Wonder Woman. I get the feeling that that's you're asking me. I can't really go off of her acting ability. So I'll bring that up in a second. Yeah, we should. No, Tavia. If it's not going to sell enough, they're not going to make it. That's what you have to understand.
Yeah,
everything this company does is by sales or interest. There's not enough interest in this.
Let me kind of give you an example.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I'm a Power Ranger fan, and back in the 2010, Shout Factory was releasing like all the Power Ranger stuff and all of the auxiliary stuff. So they were doing big bad Beetleborgs. So they did season 1, and they do like season 1, part 1, part 2. And so they did season 2, part 1, but they didn't release season 2 for like the longest time, because who would have known? Beetleborgs is a niche within a niche, and it didn't sell very well. They eventually did release season 2, part 2, but that was after like a huge like fan demand. And just a classic example. If something doesn't sell, there's no point in investing the money.
Yeah, Tevia, I want to emphasize this point. Just because you like it does not mean enough people liked it for them to make the Blu-ray or expand on the universe. You can like this thing all you want. More power to you. I like a lot of things. What about the no? But Tevia, that was released intended to be on DVD. You're comparing you're using faulty comparisons here.
Okay.
It's literally called direct to DVD.
Jared put me in solo. I'm taking over. But Jared put me in solo.
Wait, before JJheat taps in, I just want to say, didn't they actually end the Tomorrowverse early because it was like selling very poorly?
No, it wasn't because of sales. Reportedly, from what I heard from what Britt and I heard, it was because of like all of the like craziness going on with WB, and they didn't know where they want to go with the animated universe, so they just ended it because they didn't know what James Gunn was going to do.
All right, JJheat, you're in. Go.
Yeah, hang on. You asked for it, so let me do this. I keep forgetting I have to go up here. Layout. Go ahead.
Thank you, Jared. Thank you. All right, I'm saying this out loud for everybody in the back. Number one, Young Justice was not commercially sound enough to warrant, even after all the behind-the-scenes stuff with HBO Max, and how the original revival was cut down from 3 seasons to 2. Okay, let's go ahead and establish that right now. Number two, if we are factoring that original model I exampled with all the characters of Teen Titans 03 being the focus character of a particular season and adaptation, what real storyline did Starfire have left at that point other than her and Robin getting together? Because the majority of the Blackfire saga was syndicated in an earlier season. Third, even if we factored all of this with Crisis and Tomorrowverse, at the end of the day, Tomorrowverse was just a series of transition projects while Warner Brothers was going to Warner Brothers and Discovery merger was going down. There was no certainty of what was going on with James Gunn or anything else. Hold on, excuse me a moment.
Woo! And by the way, JJheat, can I say I love angry JJheat? I love angry JJheat. No, but that's the thing, Tevia. When you bring up the Tomorrowverse, here's the difference. Young Justice was a streaming show. The Tomorrowverse were legit direct to DVD and Blu-ray movies. That was their avenue. That's why they went to DVD, and Young Justice so far hasn't for that last season. That's like saying how come this comic did, how come like Injustice issue 2 digital back in the day? Because it's a digital only comic at the time. It was only digital at the time. Agreed, guys. As much as I want Static Shock to return, I had given up hope on getting another one again. Yeah, I mean, that's more likely because well, here's the thing. They're supposed to be starting up a new milestone like thing, but I'm like,
in terms of official
the
DC.
problem with Static is every time they try and bring back the character, because remember they brought him back for New 52, he doesn't sell.
He can't stand on his own. He can't, not commercially.
People like him. He's a well-liked character.
Oh my freaking God, Tevia. I literally keep telling you this because there's a demand for Superman and Lois. There is a demand for that show.
All right, can we just put a cap on like the physical media release?
Yeah, we're having that conversation.
Sorry, I didn't want you to get a heart attack on Superman.
That's a good move, Nick. That's a good call.
As for Static Shock, after Dwayne McDuffie's passing, RIP, after Dwayne McDuffie's passing, there was a huge blowout between DC, Warner Brothers, and the McDuffie estate to the point where the majority of the milestone characters are their own thing, except with shows like on Young Justice, where the animation department just pays the licensing fee to use those characters. Other than that,
I just want to say, I do commend Young Justice. They did a lot with the McDuffie characters, and I do respect them for showcasing them like that.
They did. Mm-hmm. They did. Let's not keep it a buck. But if we're really being honest, the most ever since that falling out and Milestone became its own IP again, ever since that, the most they did was a tribute character, and we got Naomi.
Mm-hmm.
That goes to show.
Benders. So, all right. So let's talk about this real quick before we wrap up. Taladia shared this in the Comic group chat. We have a look at the Absolute Batman cape. And I'm not sure how I feel about that.
I'm just not a fan of it. Like, I get what they're going for, but I'm just not a fan of it.
Are they trying to bring back the 80s or something like that? It looks like Vampire versus Dracula version.
It's kind of that. And I'm like,
Dark Reign mixed with Batman The Dark Knight Returns.
I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan.
I'm sorry, but I've never been a fan of long-eared Batman.
Me neither. I hate long-eared Batman, honestly, Nick.
Because it works in some stuff, but as a rule, no.
Truthfully, and this is not because it's Snyder, but I prefer the shorter ears that were like on Batfleck. Maybe Begins, but I really hate the really obnoxiously long ears.
For me, and this is probably my bias talking. I think the Keaton Batman had like the perfect length of the ears.
He had a good one. I tolerate that one. But when they go like ridiculously long, like these, or like in a few of the Elseworlds, or even in like Long Halloween, I'm like, okay, I really don't. It looks a little ostentatious.
I just want to say this. Like the little stubby ears that you see on like the Affleck one, I'm not a fan of it. It's not my thing, but I can tolerate it.
Yeah, it's not as egregious as these, because I get what they're going for with the Affleck ears, and that's fine. But again, I'm just not a fan of that. I don't like the cape wrapping around his arm, honestly. I get what they're going for. They're trying to go with a look of like Batman doing like this because of bats, but I'm not a fan. I'll still read it because I want to check out the Absolute Trinity, but I don't have to like that cape look. It's like, oh God. But anyway, so let's wrap this crazy train up. So JHeat, where can we find you, and what have you got coming out on your channel?
As for me, you can find me on JHeat Blaze or JHeat75 on Twitter or X. We recently hit over 260 subscribers, so there's definitely a milestone video in the works.
Yay! Whoa. Hell yeah, dude!
Also, stay tuned for my Decamu, Tomorrowverse, which I now got to do both because of how Crisis ended, and Damian Wayne retrospectives, as well as Gotham Knights, the TV show review part 2. The first one we did, I reacted while they commented on episodes 1 to 4, and now I got to watch. And
you goddamn right, you got to watch the rest of them, dude. Correct. I just want to clarify something. Talati and I don't have to watch it. We just have to watch you watch it.
Like, I've seen bad TV shows before. Like, I mean, it's cheap, it's bland, and it was literally there just to fulfill the Batwoman.
It gets worse, brother. It gets worse.
Me personally, I just would have took the buyout. I would have just took the buyout and kicked him to the.
Well, yeah, that's what they should have done. But dude, at least admit this. It's great content for our channels.
Oh, it's good content, but the show is garbage.
It is definitely garbage. That is correct, my brother. It is that. But is that it?
Yeah, that's all I got. Stay tuned for more content, everybody.
I'll go in the Nick. So tomorrow I'd say about like 2 or 3. I'm gonna do the Rebel Moon watch party, and that's gonna be like our movie night for the week. I would have done it tonight again. It's just 3 hours long, and by the time I got out of a stream with a buddy, I was like, nah, I'm not doing 3 hours of this. So I'll do that tomorrow. And Super Wonder Legacy will be tomorrow at 9 p.m. Britt and I are going to be doing a full-on retrospective of the new 52, talking about like its criticisms, our favorite books and such. We're going to be refuting its criticisms, as a matter of fact. So be on the lookout for that. And that's all I got scheduled. Nick, would you like to tease the audience, if you will?
Certainly, sir.
And I will put the link to back Nick's book in the chat.
So, if you, I got my book, and we are currently over $400 on day 1. Thank you guys. You guys are awesome. And yep. So we got that. Also, my YouTube channel is close to hitting a little milestone here. Let me just kind of pull it up.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm currently at 541 subscribers.
How's your watch time?
I'm 1844. So I'm
not
doing
bad.
Pretty good. So I'm just 9 people away from 550. So if you have not subscribed to the Phoenix Press on YouTube, please consider doing so. And it won't be too big of a blowout for 550. The next big milestone is 750. Have we decided what I'm doing for 750? In 1,000, we're doing the Revenge of the Sith script.
Are we doing a punishment, or are we doing like a fun thing? Because if we could do a punishment, I got loads of stuff. Oh, the punishment.
So the punishment, the fun is when I hit 1,000. We're basically doing a read through of the Revenge of the Sith script. Jared, you're Anakin. I'm Obi-Wan.
Hell yes. Oh, by the way, Nick, I wanted to tell you real quick.
JJheat, you're Mace Windu.
You are welcome on this panel, but we do not grant you the rank of master.
I love how it's you that gets to say that.
This is outrageous. It's unfair. How can you be on this panel and not be a master?
Oh, I'm not brave enough for politics.
Oh, we're going to do that. By the way, Nick, I want to tell you, I started watching a little bit of the Marvels.
Oh, God.
Because I was morbidly interested. I was morbidly interested, and I watched it, and I haven't touched it since. I watched it a week ago, and I got halfway through it. I'm like, I'm out.
I did a movie review on it last year, and
yeah,
I think I was
getting there, Nick. Hang on.
Sorry.
In terms of your punishment, let me see.
Because if you want me to read a very bad comic, I'm willing to do so.
Live on air, by the way. We're doing it live.
End.
No, it's gotta be something. No, it's gotta be something that he knows is bad, because Nick doesn't necessarily know Future's End is bad.
By the way, I'm just gonna say this right now. At 1,500, I'm gonna force Nick.
He read Sins Past, Tevia. He already did that one.
When I get to 1,500 subscribers, I'm gonna force Nick to read Avengers 200.
Yes, yes. And Tevia, we're not doing Civil War 2 because again, Nick doesn't know that's so bad. I mean, if you want to read Civil War 2, fine, but I'd rather it be a book that Nick knows is horrible.
Also, Dave's correct.
I answered your question, Tevia.
And Dave makes a great point. Instead of complaining about Star Wars, Nick is actually doing something about it. Yeah. Writing a novel is better than grifting for super chats and whining about Kathleen Kennedy and shirtless Sid. Wait, what?
Oh, did you not?
Oh, the Acolyte. That's why.
Well, I mean, it's like with me too. It's like,
don't get me wrong. I still look forward to writing out super chats, but I'm still going to be putting out novels.
Yeah, it's like with me. With me too. It's like I'm doing Athena because I don't like the direction DC has taken Wonder Woman, so I'm making my own. There you go, done. But anyway,
with blackjack and really nice ladies.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm trying to think. What's a good punishment? No, Tevia again. Okay, so Nick, establish for the audience what your like general
criteria.
What eras of comics have you read, or what do you think are bad stories?
My golden era of comics is 97 to 07. I've said that a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's stuff before and after, yes, but like anything from that era, I'm at least familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly on the DC side.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm trying to think.
I mean, there's I could do Ultimatum because I've heard how bad that is. I could do the issue. I have the perfect one. What about the issue where they reveal Quicksilver and Wanda having the incest?
Oh,
wait. Oh God! Why did you remind me of that?
That's it. That's the one.
I am doing that issue. I'm reading.
Oh, you have to read it live on air, Nick, like you did Sins Past and all that.
Get me to 750 and I'll do it.
Oh God. That's I'm gonna barf.
Oh God, this is great. I am gonna kill myself, but I'm not. For the record,
oh Nick, you thought the section in Sins Past was bad. Oh God.
You remember my reaction?
When you actually dry heaved. Or how about mine when I had to read the Batcest issue of Batman Beyond?
You're lucky. That was a few pages. Sins Past is like
that was like a page. I just went through it. But anyway, Nick, where can we find you and what have you got coming on your channel?
All right, I got Witcher 3 yet tomorrow. We're continuing to go through that. Tuesday, continuing Pokemon Silver. Wednesday, I got my review of Ultimate X-Men Volume 1 with Jared. Come out on Comic Watch. And then next Friday, on the Friday Night Frenzy, the tentative topic is 3DS versus PS Vita. Which one is better? Hopefully, we should have John on there. Should be pretty cool.
All right. So stay heroic, everyone. Back Nick's book because it's pretty good as someone that has read part of it. So back that. And stay heroic. Remember, Lois Lane is Lois Lane. She belongs with General Zod's and Megatron.
Right off.
Zois and Maxabat for life. I will see you later.